what impressions did you have with the group of guys playing as many snaps as you guys did together as an offensive line? And it seems like for a first game you'd be pretty pleased, especially against the opponent you faced.
Yeah, I think the standard's been set. For first game, I thought we played pretty well. There's obviously a lot of room for improvement. If you go back and look at the film, there's a lot of mistakes that were made and a lot of things are correctable. So, but we're very excited about what we're able to accomplish, especially with 3 new starters. And just looking forward to see what we can do the remainder of the year.
How surprised were you to have that kind of success? I mean, 320 yards rushing against any D1 opponent is a big deal, but with 3 new starters.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't really surprised by the success. The numbers were kind of shocking. But, we believed in each other. Everybody thought because we were inexperienced we weren't going to have any success. And I kept trying to, bust that myth all week. But, until we went out there and did it, people weren't going to believe it. So we're very proud of our guys, and I think we got a lot of room for improvement, which is the best thing.
How proud of you of the fact that despite some miscues, drop passes, and timely turnovers, that your team didn't really seem to flinch and just kept pushing through? At the end of last year, you guys seemed to struggle when mistakes happen. It's just sort of like a ripple effect. Didn't happen in the first game.
Yeah, that's probably the best thing coming out of the game was the poise, especially with the youth we had up front. I think we had 4 sacks in the first half and none in the second half. Some of that we got beat. Some of that was just little, communication things or adjustment things, and we were able to get that corrected at halftime and go out there and not give up any in the second half. So that was huge. And when things weren't going our way, as you mentioned, when we were dropping balls, having silly penalties, nobody panicked. We remained pretty poised, and that's a sign of a mature football team.
Where do you feel like you can improve? What did you see when you picked up watching the film?
Just really over communicating as well. I mean, early on, we were doing a pretty good job. We were going at such a fast pace, it was hard to really kind of spell everything out. And the defense wasn't even getting lined up, so a lot of times we were just snapping the ball and going to our base rules, and we couldn't spell everything out. So there'll be times where we need to slow it down and get things spelled out, and there'll be other times where we can just go.
Dabo mentioned that getting up for this week's game, next week's game, they're not the level of Auburn, but that's a sign of a championship team. Just kind of speak to that, if you would.
Yeah, typically, Clemson's always played to its opponent, and that's something that we got to try to, move forward and get better at as a program to establish the level of consistency that we're trying to establish. And Ball State's a very good football team. I think they had 600-something yards of offense. Their defense is going to do a ton of moving, a ton of blitzing, and it's something if you're not prepared for, you'll get embarrassed.
Dalton, Coach Morris said that he felt like Saturday was the most physical game you've played personally since you've been here. Is that sort of how you felt about it?
Yeah, I felt pretty good. Going in, I felt like we all had something to prove. The spotlight's kind of always been on the offensive line since I've been here, being called soft. And, we're just ready to change all that. And I felt like with this young group of guys, we could really go out and make a statement, especially with the opportunity we had in Atlanta.
Talk about you're a senior now, your final home opener coming up. Should be a pretty fired up fan base. I guess you guys are pretty excited to get out there.
Yeah, it's going to be a great atmosphere. We're ready to be home. Atlanta was great, but there's nothing like playing here at home. And, we got all the new additions with the sound and the Jumbotron and everything else. So we're just looking forward to get back at home.